As my very good friend, the Sir Elton John says, Saturday nights are right for fighting. Friday nights are right for working on lawnmowers, boat engines, or shooting off Uzis. I'm not really sure what just happened in my backyard, but if you hear a rumbling, a tumbling, and a grumbling, it's not my tummy tonight. It is my neighbor, and I will mute myself as soon as I start to hear it. And will come to all of our aid. Will. Besides what just happened 38 seconds ago, how are you?
Doing all right. It's looking forward to this. It's been a long week, so it's good to talk some comics. And just to kind of, tackle onto what you were saying, you do live in Florida, so
Yeah, Joey and
I hear it's lawless there, right?
it's law adjacent. It's not lawless. It's law adjacent. It really
man.
it really depends on if Ron DeSantis likes you. If he likes you, then everything you do is legal, and if he doesn't, everything you do is against the law. So,
man,
as long as you know that going in, I guess that's the way we do. Oh, right. We got Shawnee in the chat. Yes, the gang is all here. It's going to be an all-star group. We got the Pocus Focus fellas in the chat. We got Joey and Alan, and we may have a special guest star a little bit later.
I thought you said I was the special guest star.
No, you're already here.
Yeah. He sucks. God, I hate this show.
I'm listening. The only reason why I'm here is because I need to know where how I can get one of those pictures back there. Will, that's all I know. I just need to know that.
That is, it's an online place. If you have a picture of your pet, they can put them in different poses, and then they paint it and send it to the boys. Got it. That's Otis, our Basset Hound, and strangely enough, as a Basset Hound, the boys chose the ambassador. I call it the ambassador instead of the ambassador, but there you go.
That's fantastic. I know what I'm getting. I'm getting Alan for Christmas.
Yeah,
a photo of you. A photo of you.
Yeah,
photo of me painted instead of the animal. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'll find you a link, man.
Jay, welcome. Yes, good evening to you. Happy to have you in the chat. We usually do those 30-second intros. Well, Alan, I think we're going to let you do the Pocus Hocus. So if somebody were going to turn themselves around and walk past your booth, how would you get their attention in 30 seconds or less?
Hi.
that would bring attention. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to redo. Okay, so we want attention and sales.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. Sorry. So
good,
yeah,
good
hi.
Attention.
I'm Alan Dunford. I'm the co-writer and creator of Pocus Hocus and Grandma Chainsaw, and we try to specialize in comedy and horror and some fantasy elements.
Nice. Yeah. All right. And we have a lot of times, I will say, there by the grace of the Geek Collective, go Will and I. And there is a reason that we have anything to do with the Geek Collective, anything to do with basically, if anything in the show seems professional, organized, well done, or skillful, look to the lower right of your screen because it comes from Joey Galvez. Will and I just kind of pop in here. We talk our talkity talks, and Joey sets us up to look better than we are. So Joey,
you guys are too kind. That is absolutely not true. You guys are the superstars, except for Alan. Yep. I don't know why he's no, you guys are freaking fantastic. I'm a huge fan of you guys first, right? And I love your guys' work. I love Kevin, and then just getting to know you guys together, and all the cool stuff that you guys have been doing. I was like, I love this. You guys got to be on my network, and you guys were like, cool, yeah, we could probably turn this into a podcast, and then I was like, yes, let's do that, and then I was like, well, you guys need some intro stuff. So I was just messing around one day and I made that. It's horrible. Number one, I'm not saying it's horrible. You guys, it looks great, right?
It does look great, yeah.
But I mean, my skills have gotten a whole lot better since then, is what I'm trying to say.
What I'm saying is you can't do the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition with Norm and Cliff as your models. So you're only working with a certain amount of material with your video, and we appreciate you making us look at least like, you know.
I mean, I work with this guy. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All
no,
right,
but
well,
no, I'm here for you guys because I'm big fans of you guys. Your work, the stories that you guys put out, the opportunities that you guys give other people. Like, I was I said, if I can't do anything, I want to be a huge advocate for you guys. So that's the main goal that I was, thinking about when I was thinking of this show and making sure that you guys had something cool to look at.
No,
So
we appreciate it. And we're going to get into a little bit of the story of the Geek Collective later, but this is a comics crowdfunding show. So our super duper extra spectacularious, super fragilistic guest star, Alan.
Fantastic.
No, that ship has sailed. You guys already told me I wasn't a special guest. I'm already mentally checked out of this whole thing.
So I'm done.
Well, we're going to the page whether you're checked out or not. It just might be a really quiet podcast. The people on the video will have something to watch. So if this gets quiet for 15 minutes, go to YouTube and check out the Pocus Hocus. So if in case people missed the last time you were on with Pocus Hocus, lead us into what's the world you did, your team, how you guys came together, because I know this is a collection, but this is probably somebody's first time to hear about it.
Yeah. So like they said, the title is Pocus Hocus, and in short, it's about a magician who sells his soul to a demon to have actual magical powers. And if you're still awake through that part, it gets better. Pretty much this is the special edition version of the first arc, and it's issues 1 through 4 thrown together, and we offer 2 versions of it. We offer the regular trade paperback, which is everything full color, everything, and then this is the special edition of it, which is our black and white Solus edition. We are so happy with that. And it's just really a love letter to the team. So we have Brian Belando, who does our pins and inks. Jason Smith does our coloring. Dave Lentz does the lettering. Will Radford is my co-writer, and Joey is our PR rep.
I knew there was a reason Joey actually came in here. I knew it was this. I like you guys, Will and Kevin. You guys are all right. No, we need to, after we talk about Geek Collective, we need to talk about a little bit of the PR work you do as well. Make sure we don't forget that, Joey, because Will will forget that. So, so you've got the trades, you've got the black and white hardcover, you've got a holofoil cover. One thing I was wondering, do you have any of the floppies left for people to catch up on the ones that have been kickstarted, or are those all gone?
No, yeah, we still have those. That's something that and I think we talked about this, when I was on here for even Grandma Chainsaw and for the Pocus stuff. Like, our main goal is to always cater to fans new and old. And that also means people who may have even missed us just for one campaign. Mm-hmm. So we always try to offer the floppies as an add-on.
Yeah, see why you want to do some black and white with this artwork.
Yeah, Brian is absolutely incredible, and he does better than what we could ever ask for, I think.
Well, there's a whole reason why we chose this black and white edition, and it's because in the story, those of you who don't follow Pocus Hocus, when he gets his soul taken away, sorry, spoiler.
That happens in the first 3 pages, I think.
Right.
Oh, man.
Anyway, sorry, I messed up. I should have said that beforehand, right? but his color is gone, right? Everybody else around him has color. He's the only one without color. So hence the whole reason why we called this the soulless edition. There's the color's been taken out of it, but it's the entire first run of the first entire arc 1 through 4. We even had Dave Lentz re-letter the whole thing. So
yeah, he loved that.
Yeah. Had to go back and re-letter the whole entire thing. So, but we wanted to make sure there were some things that we kind of saw the first time around that, there's always those things that you wish that you can go back and change. Right. And if you got an opportunity to do it, why not? Right. So we kind of took that opportunity. So,
Joey, a quick question.
Yeah.
And this is probably more for Alan, maybe.
Yeah.
When you say soulless, do you mean soul adjacent?
Oh my God. Get out of here. I can't stand y'all.
Sorry,
We'll,
there.
we'll come in strong with the yes
Yeah.
and tonight.
Yeah,
Oh man.
So,
Fantastic.
and also something special about this too, from where you just got to this point. We're offering our next big campaign that we're doing is going to be the Pocus Hocus 5. So, or 2-1, however you want to look at it. It's our season 2, right?
Don't get
Uh,
complicated. Don't do
I
it.
know. Hey, it's how it's going to be written. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, we're offering an ash can on this as well. It's just for
cool.
an early preview.
That's
and
a nice
it's gorgeous.
ash can.
I've seen these pages lettered. Oh man, they're gorgeous. And the things that these guys do with these books and the all the way down from the lettering to the coloring to even the inks that are backing it up the color. You're just like, oh my gosh, these guys are blowing me away.
Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
Super
This
cool.
is-
No,
This
definitely.
is totally an inside baseball question, but was it difficult to get somebody to print a trade paperback, a hardcover / trade paperback with holofoil and metal? Because most people do that for floppies, but I don't see it often for hardcovers or trade paperbacks.
Honestly, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were surprised by that too.
Yeah.
Great.
That was something that Joey told us early
Mhm.
on. He said that he'd never seen
Yeah.
a metal cover of just a paperback. And I got to tell you, it actually turned out way better than what we expected. We were so
Yeah.
happy with it. That's why we brought it back for
Mhm.
this, because we tested it on the Pocus Hocus 4 campaign.
Okay.
So we decided, hey, let's go and bring it back for this because we were very happy with it. So in case someone else wants to pick up on it.
Yeah, they came out really gorgeous. And this one here, if you guys can see behind me here, for those who are watching, this one is it's actually glow in the dark. It's a metal cover, so of the Grandma Chainsaw when we had the campaign running for that one as well. So, what's cool is everybody who backed should have already received their packages already. So. Very, very cool.
And I did just notice that if you miss the Grandma Chainsaw, you can add that on. So let's not miss a chance to let somebody who might have missed that episode of Explain Yourself. And if you did, you're going to have to explain yourself because Jesus Christ, people.
Wait a second. I believe you missed that episode, Kevin. I'm sorry, but
Kevin, yeah, you did. Yeah, it was just willing myself.
I want to say that if you missed the one that I missed, you are an idiot because you got those are the ones I listen to. I'm like, oh man, that one guy with the annoying voice is in here. This is kind of nice.
Oh man.
Was this my flu miss? I think this was my flu miss.
I'm not sure.
I think it was a flu miss.
Yeah, he kept that. He followed HIPAA. He didn't tell anybody.
He said Alan's going to be there.
Oh, and he said, "Hell no!"
Listen, that's how you know. That's how you know that people are in the medical field. They make medical jokes.
Gosh, I had stage 3 Dunford disease that weekend.
Yeah. Hey, I have that every day.
Oh man.
Oh no, I think that was the goal. Here is I'm gonna kind of show you what you guys missed had I been on that episode. So I did everybody a favor missing that episode. So Grandma Chainsaw, let's let everybody know what it is in case they like me missed that episode.
Yeah, I mean it does what it says on the label, right? It's about a serial killer grandma. It's kind of our deep delve into slasher, horror, dark comedy, the stuff that we absolutely love whenever we watch horror movies. You know, this is our Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Evil Dead. Just a lot of it's fun. I think anyway. And we were so happy with how this one turned out. And it was a tough decision on the team to decide whether we want to do Grandma Chainsaw 2 or Pocus 5 next.
Mm-hmm.
But we decided let's go and just do Pocus 5 because both of them were it was one of those decisions where no page was started yet. The scripts were done for both, but we were like, let's go and just do Pocus. Let's keep that train going because we also want to continue this story because we're so excited for this. But we know how crazy Grandma Chainsaw 2 gets because we finally got out of the way. These are all of our characters, and this is the situation.
Right.
So we get to really cut, no pun intended, we get to cut loose on that one too. So yeah, this is a way to kind of, if you missed that, to jump in on this.
That was a soulful pun, by the way.
Yeah. Don't worry, maybe the chat will be buzzing after all of this. What we're still trying to do though, from where we're starting to get more titles out, and we're working on more and more things, we're hoping to have an Ash can as well for Grandma Chainsaw 2 on the Pocus Hocus 5 campaign.
No, that's very smart to make every campaign feed into the next one. That's very smart. I like that idea.
And what's really cool is I think what we're going to try to do as well is I'm going to kind of, obviously there's that push and pull, right? But I always want to kind of push and encourage these guys to do something a little bit more each time, right? So with every campaign that we do, we kind of push the limits a little bit more. You know, from every aspect, whether it be, you know, art wise or from the writing, but also we don't even stop there. We also push the limits of our campaigns as well a little bit, kind of do things a little bit differently, or maybe we even come up with some kind of different stuff, right? We did this time around, we did the glow in the dark metal covers, which was I thought metal covers were cool, but man, you put them under a black light and they glow, it looks even cooler. So
the quality too of that thing, once you actually have it in your hands, is wild. Like it feels, I don't know, it feels like you paid good money for it.
The metal covers feel substantial. They really do. They feel.
If you guys were a lot cooler, I'd probably pull it down for you guys.
What's actually nice about it though, it's the front and back are both metal.
Yeah,
so
you know what?
With the back cover on it too.
I think we just got cooler.
Yeah.
You guys got cooler.
I'm gonna take the banner and the thing down to make you bigger.
It's not. Listen, it's not gonna come out of the Mylar at all. But look, there's the.
Source
and I mean, you guys listen. This is not doing it just because the source point press in the back is almost like it's like a mirrored texture. It's
cool.
It's very cool. And if you guys have if under the black light it kind of glows a little bit, you can kind of see how that kind of does. Kind of
super happy, man.
But you know, it's so cool. It's so cool.
But yeah, so that's Grandma Chainsaw. Hopefully, have you guys had a chance to read it yet? I'm not sure. I couldn't remember.
I read the first probably 20 pages.
We're 28, so you're almost there.
I'm into it. I'm into it. I liked where the kids were, not where they were at, but where they were stuck. I'm into it. Very, very much, you know, reminiscent of all the things that you're talking about, and just fun and just. She is a freaky villain, man.
I mean, look at their tagline. You know, evil has a perm. I mean,
the direction that it's going. Oh my gosh, you guys don't even know the half of it right now. If you guys think this is great, the direction and when we're on the other side of it, you're gonna turn around and be like, your mind's gonna be blown. Seriously, that's all I can say.
In the chat, Jay Burns says about Pocus Hocus. Sorry, I need to focus. This team is just amazing, and we can't await the next hit. Been on Pocus since day one, thanks to Dave Lentz. Man, when your letter is bringing you in readers, that is awesome.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, because they make your book good already, but to bring in a reader as well is just. You know,
I think the story that Jay tells is Dave kind of just sent him a list of projects he was working on, and Pocus kind of stuck out a little bit. We probably thought, what a stupid ass name for a book, and he's like, I got to see what idiots and how bad this thing's going to be.
There's something to that, though. It just sticks out. We don't do it anymore, but I've got a book I did with my buddy Chris called Underwars. And it's about a monkey. You throw him in men's tidy whities and he can immediately talk and kung fu fight because comics, you know. And we were trying to figure out what to call it for a long time. And Chris sent me Underwars, and I just sent him back a text immediately, no. And then a day later, It's
You're like,
growing
yes.
on me. And then a day later, it has to be Underwars or I'm not doing the book. The stupidity, because it's a stupid book, was just like, all right, we're there. So I love a stupid title. I'm with you.
Yeah, and it's how we felt with Grandma Chainsaw, right? We try to set it up to where you know what you're getting yourself into.
That's the Pat Shand rule, make your log line your title. So that's very smart. Anything in the future, I'm going to try to emulate you and Pat, because it is smart to do. Just like, oh, this is the book you're getting,
Yeah.
As I see one of the books up there that he's doing is Smoke Weed, See the Future. Like, Pat knows what he's doing about titling his book.
Yeah.
Shawnee says that's her new motto, because comics. Shawnee, it is yours to do with as you please. If you can use it for any book, please go for it. But that is one of our pitches. You can talk and kung fu fight, because comics.
Comics.
Why not? Yeah.
Why not?
But yeah, so alongside of that, also on the campaign, we are offering the Horus and Hell Ashcan, which is just kind of a side story for the origin of Pocus's rabbit Horus. And we are actually now beginning stages on the mini series for that, which is going to be 2-issue mini. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming in the pipeline. And
Cool stuff.
it's one of those things where I just I would never wish time to move faster, but I'm just excited to see it. You know what I mean? I just want to see that finished product.
Yeah.
You don't have to wish it; it just does it.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Horus and Hell. Yay!
There we go.
Yeah, illustrated by Kit Wallace.
I don't know, Kit. That's the first time I've heard the name. Where'd you find them?
So Dave actually has worked with Kit for a long time. Kit does a ton of work with Garrett Gunn at Source Point. Most notably, his new book that came out through Scout, I believe, Mr. Easta, and their hit Good Boy, the reverse John Wick.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Where the owner dies and the dog goes on a vengeance killing spree. So yeah, I absolutely love Kit's art, and Kit is one of those. He's been with us since day one.
Okay.
Like whenever we were first getting started, and I didn't even know how to find a variant cover artist, Dave found Kit, and Kit agreed, and we have just been in communication ever since.
That's beautiful.
Yep.
So Shawnee says she loves Good Boy. It was so much fun. So.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So we're gonna have our own Kit Wallace comic, which is awesome.
Yeah. Very cool.
And I think it's going to be a good contrast to Brian's dark and gritty art that we have for Pocus and Grandma Chainsaw, and then to see something like Kit's that's kind of larger than life. Just those really just caricatures of life itself.
It's gorgeous, the world that he already built inside. It's so cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Is there any chance that there's going to be a crossover in the future
for the
Grandma
Pocus
Chainsaw and Pocus Hocus?
Man, we have talked about it, and I cannot confirm nor deny the existence of a crossover, especially from where we're using the same team.
It sounds very strongly like you can't deny it.
I know.
But we'll just stop right there.
I don't know. Listen, all you guys got to do is put an earworm in the right guy's ear, and somebody might make it happen.
Nice.
That's all I'm saying.
So
Shawnee's here for any more Kit art. So
we have plenty of it coming. So in Kit, he's graciously done a variant cover for each campaign that we've done too. So again, hats off to Kit. Appreciate him like crazy.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So something that we tried to do, like Joey said, we always try to do something that's a little bit different. And it's always about audience engagement too. So something that we wanted to do here was, kind of backtracking, 20 minutes ago when we started talking about the Solus edition, we wanted to do something that was fun and different. And we never want anyone to ever feel like we're doing like a bait and switch, right? We never want anyone to feel like, hey, we're going to release issue 4, but then we do a trade campaign by itself. So the trade was there with it and everything. We had people asking us, when can they get a hardback of the trade that's full color and everything? Well, at the time, whenever we ran it, there was some factors that were happening. Paper was through the roof. And hardbacks for
If
us,
you could get it, it was through the roof.
Yeah, it was wild. And the price of hardbacks was crazy too.
Yeah.
And also the time it was going to take you to get a hardback. So we made the decision, hey, let's just do a trade paperback because we don't want to feel like we're ever price gouging. We always want to stay competitive. And now that the price of that has dropped finally and things are readily available, we have the option to do it, but we would feel bad now because we've had a lot of people purchase it. So this is kind of what we're going to do is we are going to do a paper or a hardback, but it's going to be for the Omnibus Volume 1. So that's once we finish the next arc. Then we're just going to put everything together there. But in the time, for the time being, that's why we decided to go ahead and do the Soulless edition, because we wanted a hardback for a celebration again for the team, and just a love letter. Just thank you to the fans who have been here since day one, because we've only been doing this for about like a year and 3 months now. And it's crazy.
I'm trying to convince them to do the slipcase with that omnibus. So
yeah. Oh, that's not going to take a lot of convincing. That's another reason too.
Stretch goals.
Yeah. So typically we our goals are a little bit higher than what this one is. We set this campaign at $500, just because everything that you read about launching on Kickstarter, doing crowdfundings, the no time is November and December. Like you're not supposed to do it because it's holiday and everyone actually needs to take care of their families and worry about their stuff before they back your hobby, right? So that was something we just still tried to keep engagement up and just do something that was fun and just kind of also give a peek behind the curtain. Just for some of our creative process, and you get to see some of the covers we never used, and it's just I don't know. It's just I think it's fun. I think it's cool to actually be able to be like, this is what we do.
Yeah, but you're 300% funding, so you're way over the 500. You had it done, except for the relettering. Thank you, Dave Lenz. But I'm sure most people like working and doing a job, so I'm sure he wasn't too upset about getting a job to do something he was pretty comfortable with the page. He's like, I'm just going to do
that guy has no shortage of jobs right now. He's lettering half of all the books that are on Kickstarter right now. Most of half of everything that's going on over at SourcePoint. Like he's doing I think he's doing all the Fiend stuff, right?
Oh yeah, he's part of he is one of the Fiends. So
yeah.
Well, hey, I got a quick question for you about your collected editions. How far is Pocus Hocus going to go? You said season 2 is coming.
Yep.
How many seasons are you thinking that there are going to be?
See, it's so wild, right? Because whenever we started this thing, again, it's just a hobby. It was just something for Will and myself to do to try to stay sane during COVID, because we wrote the script in 2020. And that's when we started really putting the ideas for everything together. Yeah, I did. Yeah. And originally Pocus was only going to be like 4 to 6 issues. And then after issue 1, issue 2, the leap that we had was insane. And it was one of those like, oh crap, people actually like this. And now we have to try.
Yeah, for you.
Like I said, then once we actued started really,
you sound like Kurt Cobain. Like you got your dream come true and you're pissed about it.
I'm so angry. No, it's been this has been like a world unexpected. Right. I never would have thought, 2 years ago I would be meeting all these great comic book creators and everything. And it's just crazy how unexpected life can be. But yeah, so then now we're actually able to look at everything and see where we're going. So we already have this planned out for 4 arcs already. Well, 2 arcs, I should say.
4 issues each?
Yeah. Yes. And we already have a really good grasp of where we're going. And that's one of our things too. We always like to try to plan ahead. And this campaign was no short of that either. This has been the most difficult campaign to do updates for, because everything's done. We're just waiting for the campaign to end so we know how much to order. for the hardbacks.
And that is a terrible Kickstarter update.
Yeah.
Hey guys, just waiting for this to end.
Yeah, I know. Like it sounds more doom and gloom than what I mean for it to be, right? Like, but it's actually a good thing.
Yeah,
You're
it's chopping at the bit to get it to the people, but it's hard to relay that in an update.
Yeah, it's like, I just want to be like, because literally we just finished the ash can today. We just got to we just have to do the build for it and then order it. We're done. Done. Like that was the only thing that wasn't finished yet.
Just a small goal from Jay. The fans need you to get Pocus to invincible numbers of volumes, then you can stop.
Yeah.
So why don't you just do the Cerebus 300 issues? Just kind of like
okay, you're right.
create the number of issues and then write to it.
Yeah. How many spinoffs? We need spinoffs.
A spinoff for everything. But yeah, like I was talking about it with Joey too. I was like, Joey, it sucks because like I have people reaching out wanting to do cross promotion updates, and I love cross promoting with people. But I'm like, oh God, what am I going to say in my update? Because like I said, everything's like as soon as the campaign's over with, guess what? Check your inboxes. All the PDFs are coming straight to you. And then literally we're going to the printers and we're just waiting then.
Sean is here for you. The next update, 4 bells and all is well. That's all.
By the way, that might be it.
Really cool campaign. Faking each other. Smoke weed and see what you think.
Oh God.
Oh, man.
He needs an Ivan spinoff. I don't think anyone wants that, Jay.
Oh no.
We would be X-rated then.
Oh, there's an ex-president that would do very well with an Ivan spinoff. Oh man.
All right. Let's take a slight pivot. And
no, this is all about me.
Okay. You are our super fridge guest star. You get to make the rules. So Joey.
Yeah.
Let's go back about I don't know how many years.
Sure.
So the first time I heard of you was the Two Scout Geeks podcast, and then you did House of ND. And so how did you get into podcasting first? What led you into podcasting? And then we're going to get into the Geek Collective at the end of this journey.
Yeah. So I loved listening to podcasts. That's what got me into podcasting. And then, obviously listening to them. And then I was working like 3 jobs at the time, trying to make ends meet right now. And one of the jobs was dishwashing, and I had the late night dishwashing, spot. So I would just put on my music sometimes, and there was really nobody there but me in the back and maybe some of the cooks. So I would just throw on some podcast and then just listen to comic book podcasts. And I was like, I could totally do this, right? And I would like drive one of my buddies home, and we'd literally talk about comic books the whole entire way home. And I was like, dude, this is a podcast, right? Like anybody else, this is a podcast. Let's do it. And we did, but I was like, he didn't want to do it anymore. And I was like, I'm totally doing this. So I went out and bought me like one of those Amazon $99 podcast kits. and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna just do this. And I went out and bought like every single book that I liked that came out that week, and I just read them and reviewed them. Not really reviews, but I was just kind of like randomly talking about them.
This is dope. Yeah, this was not dope. This is dope. This was my podcast. This is really dope.
I put it out. This is far from dope.
I paid $15 a month, and I put it out on one of those hosting sites, and that was it. And a buddy of mine, like one person listened to it, and then he invited me to be a part of his podcast. From there, that podcast was called the Bat Pod. It's still going on now, so if you guys want to listen to podcasts, head on over to your favorite podcast player and look up the Bat Pod. My buddy,
it's all about Daredevil.
Yeah, right.
Moon Knight. It's all about Moon Knight.
We would read every Bat book that came out each week, and we would talk about it. I think they just hit their 100th episode. I finished around like the 20 something episode, and I went off and did my own thing. And then since then, man, I just been loving podcasting. I got an opportunity with some friends to create our own podcast network. They kind of were doing their own thing. He has his podcast going crazy right now. It's like blowing up, and he didn't have time to handle the network, and he asked me to do it. And eventually he reverted the rights over to me, and that's how I acquired the network. At that time, it was under a different name. It was called 143 Podcast Network. We renamed it to the Geek Collective, and here we are today. So,
cool.
Yeah.
And so, how do you? Obviously, there's not very high standards because Will and I are on this. But how do you pick shows to be on the Geek Collective? Because I know, like there's some of them are a little better. I'll let you name them. I've got one in mind. Blake's Buzz kicks our butt every week up and down the stairs. But so how do you?
Blake's awesome.
Yeah, great dude, great podcast.
I just if they do very well, if they are advocates for the comic book community, probably not comics gators, and just have fun doing what they do, what they love, and you know what I mean. We give people the availability to make some money off it. It's not a lot, right? Because you got to make some really great numbers in order to get some really good money out of this, which is you can do if you got something that people want, right? So
I made a mistake paying Will $3,000 a month to do this.
Wow!
But hey, Will, did you see the dog painting that he bought?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, I mean, you don't get into.
I think you made it on top on that one.
I'm not sure if you get into podcasting to make money. If you do, like get into podcasting or doing this, just find something that is worth doing, because that's what Will and I started this. We're like, hey, let's do a live. Our Kickstarters are live. Let's do a live, and then.
Yeah,
his closed, and he's like, I'm coming back. I was like, heck yeah. And I still had like 2 weeks left.
Yeah.
And then mine ended, and I said, you came back, and there's no reason I can't come back. And we did it the next week, and we haven't stopped. So it's,
and that's when I noticed it.
it just doesn't matter. Yes, we'd all love to have our StreamYard payments covered.
And that will happen very soon. Yeah. I've got a plan for you guys, and I have a plan for you guys, and I have some stuff in the works. I'm gonna pitch your guys' show to a live broadcast network, who will then you guys don't have to pay for StreamYard. And if we can get somebody to stay up late for you, it might be me, who knows, and we can you guys, it will come with a producer, so you guys don't have to push the buttons in the background anymore. So I'm working on it, so that's also, but that's the perks of having a podcast network, right? You have that, those are the things that happen, right? And that's one of those things that look into a podcast, right? I look and see if they're great people, and if they say, hey, listen, this is just me running this podcast thing, right? This is just me over here. I'm the only employee, and so you got to bear with me to help you out. Eventually, yes, I know you're probably paying for your StreamYard right now, but eventually we're going to get to a point where we can get you free stuff that way, right? So just
guys, you know what? It happened again. We're getting closer.
Oh,
we made it.
We have
good.
Sex spam. We have sex spam.
Did they back my campaign?
Yes, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
You guys have a sex bot.
We have a sex bot in the YouTube chat, so
that's how you know you made it.
We have got on the algorithm, and
you know what? I bet you it's Alan's arms.
It is.
His arms. He's got new ink, and he's been showing it off. I don't know if you guys have been seeing his fake yawn. So I don't know.
You can't even see it.
I do want to say, if you're watching or listening, I hope you have
Evil Dead tattoos.
Yeah.
No, listen. This is the thing. I told him. I in the beginning of like the Pocus campaign, I told him, listen, every show that I do with you, I'm gonna make it a point to bring up your arms. And I did, and I do every single episode. So It's
He's
a
like
long.
Memento. He gets a tattoo for every backer. So guys,
Yep.
just pop in for $1 and we're gonna get
Also,
him
I mean,
covered.
they're also sexy arms, man. Look at he does not skip arm day ever. Oh my gosh.
No, you can't skip it, man.
So
But
Jay
yeah.
says podcasts and helping out the indie Kickstarter community. Joey gonna be too humble, so I'll brag on him. Best in the biz. So
No.
thank you, Jay.
No. I do this because I love comics. I do this because I love podcasting, and that's why I've created the House of Indie, because I wanted to talk to comic book creators, and the one thing that I did, setting out, was to find out one question, and it was, how do you create comic books? I want to know how you, and every single person that I've interviewed, and it's probably hundreds by this point, that every single one, not one answer was ever the same. And I've had people on the show multiple times, and they had different answers the next time they came back.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to learn, and I wanted to figure out how to do that, because I want to be a comic book creator one of these days, and I want to learn from the best. So I was like, why not do it by free, sliding into people's DMs and getting free interviews, and people probably buy that stuff, right?
We all are trying to go in the same direction, but in a, some of us are swimming freestyle, some of us are swimming butterfly, some of are doggy paddling, and that's fine too. It's like, you just try to move in the same direction of have an idea, make an idea, and if you can, get that idea to another human. And if one other person reads your book, you're a success. Actually, no, if you finish your book, you're a success. Doesn't matter if somebody else reads it. Like the making the thing is huge. And then my buddy Doug Michelle, he doesn't do comics anymore. He refused to make money off of it. He would go to Kinko's, print off his zine, staple it together, and he would mail it to you if you asked for it, and he would refuse postage. It turned him off to think of making money for it. Monkey Squad 1 is one of the funniest books I've read. It's hilarious, and
I love it.
He doesn't do it anymore because it stopped bringing him pleasure, but it was great, and he didn't want to make money. It was like he was so punk rock, it made him angry to think of making money. But
that's awesome,
and it's great. Like, seriously, people look up Monkey Squad 1. It's probably still on the internet somewhere. But that, and then we brought up Pat Shand earlier. Pat Shand is just kicking ass and taking so far 432 names on Smoke Weed See the Future, and like, that's great too. It's wherever you are in the journey, just make your thing, and hopefully someone will read it. And it's 1,000. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, you make a good point, Kevin. It's the making of the thing. I mean, that's why we do it. We want to make the thing. And I'm sure I potentially speak for maybe more than just myself when I say that one of the things that I don't like about doing comics is all the stuff that's not comics that I have to do to be able to make the comics, which is kind of where a certain Joey at the Geek Collective comes in and helps promote, because promotion and marketing, I think, is really not necessarily a blind spot, but something that's probably, hey puppy, something that maybe a lot of us comics creators don't necessarily like to do, or like to spend the brain power on. It's like, I want to make the book, but I got to do all of this other stuff to make the book.
And you're absolutely right. And the stuff that I do, it's not rocket science, right? It's not anything brand new. It's stuff that everybody's done, or anybody, and maybe I'm probably not selling myself, but no,
you need a PR person.
Yeah,
right.
I know a guy.
No, but honestly, I'm gonna be truthful. It's the fact that, do you have the time? I give you guys the time to be creative, right? And I take all that other stuff off your shoulders, so that I can hold take some of that burden. while you guys are focusing on the story, focusing on where it's going to go, and the quality of it, and because obviously we want to be successful at this, right? Yeah, I'm punk rock too, but listen, I got a family to feed, I got mouths to feed, so I got to make some kind of success out of this. Otherwise I got to get a real job. So I got to figure out how to do it, and if that means that I beg other people to do interviews with me and tell me their secrets, then that's what I'm gonna do. So man, that's what I do. So no, yeah, you're absolutely right. I take that burden off your shoulders and kind of help you out, and that's why I like working with Alan. Like, sometimes I'll come at him with some stuff. He's like, no, that's dumb, and then he's like, no, actually, that might work. Let's work with that a little bit.
My initial reaction is to always tell you you're dumb.
Listen,
I think about it sometimes.
He basically saves time, right?
No, seriously, he thought this idea, the Soulless Edition, was like, I don't know. And then he thought about it. He stayed on the phone with me long enough. If you get on, listen, I'm a closer, man. If I can get you on the phone, or if I can get you on video, I'm going to close the dang deal. But so I said, okay, I kept him on the phone long enough, and boom, here we go, Soulless Edition. So awesome. It's the way it goes, man. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's I just want to make sure that I'm being an advocate for everybody that I come in contact with, and that's kind of my key thing that I've always wanted to, because that's the one thing that I looked for when I was a podcaster, and there's some horrible things that happened with another podcast network, and then I sought out the people who had the same kind of mindset that I did. So and that's kind of what I seek out. I guess if I'm answering the question you asked like a million years ago. So,
but that's
sorry, it's I feel like as indie comics people, all of us reinvent the wheel every day. It seems like and take me for instance. My first campaign was a horrible bomb because I didn't realize I needed to build my community before I launched. Really smart stuff. But someone had been there before me who knew what to do, and I was able to learn. Tyler James. We bring up Tyler, a lot, and I was able to learn what he had already accomplished and not make those same mistakes. Now that doesn't mean I didn't make any mistakes. I made all new mistakes. Yeah, but I think that, as an indie community, the more we communicate, the more we save people from having to keep reinventing that wheel or that square thing that they put on their cart, or whatever they want to call it, right?
But there's always that fun person who you can see them making a mistake and you advise them about it, and they tell you that they know wrong. And I'm not going to lie, I'm petty. I'm like, great.
Rock on.
And 80% of the time I'm right, but 20% of the time they were right. But those other 80% of the time I'm a petty little man. I'm like, yeah, you didn't want advice, huh? All right.
I see you.
I love constructive criticism, man. Like there's I learned a lot from these guys. Like putting this stuff together, like in the background stuff, like putting the Kickstarters together and creating graphics and stuff. Like I'll be like, hey, Dave, what's this? Because I know Dave's my go-to guy with the graphics, right? And he's like, no, that's my first reaction is like, don't let me hear it, Dave, because I know you're gonna hate it. And he does. He hates every single thing that my first initial thing that I send. He makes sure that he tells me how much he hates it, and then he gives me some pointers, says try this, and this, put this here, and this is the reason why. It's not like you're a horrible person, get away from me and leave it alone. He gives me the answers, and that's what a great teacher does, right? Alan does the same kind of stuff too with like storytelling and stuff too. It's like, yeah, that's great idea, but it might not work because of this. And I think when you have a cohesive team like that who just knows how to work that way in that manner, and then they come together, it's an even bigger and better thing, I think. And if you can find something like that and recreate that within your own team, man, That's awesome, because that's like, striking, if we're gonna go back to reinventing the wheel or creating the wheel, it's like creating fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first time.
Absolutely.
And
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kelly.
The being able to listen to your collaborators and let the snowball like get larger as you all push it up the hill is something that we all need to learn, because something came up in this week where I was like, someone was saying, hey, it was Pat Shan saying, hey, be your biggest spokesperson, talk your shit. And I was like, yeah, it's great. It's just, I know that I turn in a script that I like, and then my editors and Ludo give me their advice, and then that script is better. It might be 10% better. It might be 99% better.
Yeah, even if
but
it's 1%
always
better.
Yeah,
right.
Oh, yeah.
It's better. Then Ludo's art comes in, and the story is another jump up, and then he colors it, and then DC letters it, and it's each time. So I can't get too cocky about me writing a book when I know where it started and I know where each level it got better. Now I can be cocky about the book. I can be like, my book is great. You should read my book because it's awesome. But I can't be cocky about me, because I know where I started, and I know where the book got to because of the whole team. So it's the collaborative nature of comics that I think make it great. But if you are that one-man shop, I also respect the hell out of it if you can do it all and still be good.
So that's kind of what we try to pride ourselves on. I worked with the same team on Pocus and immediately moved them over to Grandma Chainsaw, and we already have a couple other things that we're already bouncing ideas off of each other for. I just love working with these guys, right? And it is Joey's in our chat, so he gets to see kind of how everything happens, but it's a really smooth, cohesive unit where everyone wants to make the best possible comic that we all can make together. And that's why I always try to give them as much credit as possible, because I know I would not be talking to you guys right now if it wasn't for Brian, Jason, and Dave.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well,
no, that's super true, because we didn't want to talk to you.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. The other guys are just unavailable. It happens.
Well, it really comes down to, I think, ego, because you have to separate yourself from your work and understand that as good as I can make it right now, there are always ways to improve it. And, so getting criticism of the work is not getting criticism of you. And that's, I say that's what you need to do, but it can be a very difficult thing, when you're just starting out, is to say, this is not me, this is my work, but they hated my baby, right? This is not cool. So, like Kevin says, working with an editor, where the script gets better, and then it gets interpreted by an artist, and they bring, so much more to the table, like, well, this is how I imagined this shot here, and they turned in this thing, which is about 1,000 times better than I even thought of. That's awesome. And then, it gets lettered, working with Brant Fowler, who's, the letterer on Crossover Division, but also he does Kickstarter design. That was something that was really great to be able to say, oh my God, he's done, probably hundreds of campaigns at this point. Cool. He's gonna do it great. I don't have to worry about that now. So, I think Joey's, you're right. It's about giving time back, or as a creator, it's about trying to make sure that you can focus on this stuff. And if you can hand stuff off to someone else, which is not, and you don't enjoy doing that anyway, then it's a win-win. It works. So
I'm going to put our Super Fudge Sally the Great guest star on the hot seat. Alan, how do you figure out, so you're a part of a writing team, how do you figure out when someone wants to make a change and you feel like it isn't better? How do you navigate when someone comes back and says, oh, this is good, but I want to do this, but you don't feel that it's the right turn? How do you navigate those waters?
Oh no, dude, I'm a total trench bull. I'm right, you're wrong. I'm big, you're small. That's just how we navigate it. Everyone just knows, like, no.
You need to have one of those on the team, so it's nice to know who it is.
So realistically, when it comes to the writing process, I genuinely feel like kind of everyone's involved. Because Will and I we get together, we hammer out a script, and knock on all the wood I can find. We have never had an argument. It's cool because I think from where Will and I have been very close friends, since high school, it really helps us, and we both understand where each other's going, and we know each other's strengths and weaknesses. So Will's really good at pulling me back down to earth because sometimes I feel like my ideas just get too big. And I'm good at bringing out his creative side because Will's strength is just with character drama. So I'm better at making him world build. So it's just kind of stuff like that. But I think where we have sometimes the biggest pushback is whenever it comes to the lettering process, because not everything you write is going to make it to the page. And I think some people, you do need to realize that. You need to know that sometimes you can be too wordy. Sometimes the art is telling more than what your words need to. Or whenever you actually sit down and read it, you're like, wow, when you actually see it in comic book form, this is really stupid. Why did I write this? But I think that whenever we do that, because I've had Dave come back and be like, this doesn't make any sense now that this is drawn this way. And you really just have to check your ego and really think about what's better for the project, because Dave's been doing this for years. I want someone to tell me I'm wrong, because that's the only way I can improve. So I know it's kind of like I don't feel like I'm really answering the question too much, but we haven't really come into that yet, because everyone, like I said before, everyone's just on the same page. And if someone feels strongly enough about something, just like, I don't like it, and everyone it's just a democracy. So if someone says, hey, I don't like it, we're all like, oh, okay, well, what would make you happy with it? What can we do to change it? And then we always seem to come to a happy medium.
Well, Will, I'll put it to you, because your editor, James Powell, is a heck of a writer himself. And James editing, like I've worked with him, with you a little bit, seems to really be in a good way, kind of trying to poke the holes to find out if they're really holes. So how do you, when he's coming back, how do you decide? They're all valid criticisms, but what are the ones that you're going to really change because he says it, and what are the things that you're going to go, okay, no, this is the way it's going to be, and maybe I can tweak this to make it make more sense?
Most of the time, I mean, I really see where he's coming from, and I'll go, okay, that really makes sense, and okay, I can change this and move it around. I think there's been one or two times where I'm like, I understand what you're saying, but this is the reason that I feel the character would do this and say this and this, because
it's a weird balance to fight for your story, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the great thing about James is he's very insightful, so he'll zero in on, like, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, you're absolutely right. Sorry.
So it's your job to make it. Sometimes it's your job to make it make sense, as opposed to change that thing. You can go back 3 pages to make it make sense.
Exactly. Yeah, or something like that. Because there are really, the whole issue is not gold. Every word that I write is not gold.
Oh, yes, it is. Don't you say
that?
Don't you say that, Will?
You got to keep your chin up, or else your crown's going to slip off your head, King.
Thank you. But I really try to. I think it really is kind of about picking your battles. I mean, if there are, looking through the Google Doc sheet, and there are 30 different comments or 40 different comments. Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's misspelled. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay. Bomb. Okay. Wait a minute. This is talking about.
By the way, if you're an editor, I'm going to tell you this, and you're editing a piece, if something's misspelled, just fucking fix it.
Yeah.
Don't tell me it's misspelled.
Oh my god.
Sorry. I'm like,
It's like, I promise you, I don't want a misspelling
yes,
in my comic book. You have my permission.
You don't need to check me if I wrote it separate.
Oh my god.
Separate.
Yeah.
Like, fix it. It's fine. Sorry, that's my own.
You're absolutely right. But it's, and for the most part, most books, maybe I'm going to completely agree with James because he's a really, really good editor.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there was a scene in Crossover Division 5, because we were working through that recently before I could hand it off to Pablo, where he was talking about what the characters were doing or what they were saying and why they were saying it, and I was like, well, I kind of want this because it makes sense from my perspective of the way they would, and the way they would behave and the way they would speak. And, we went kind of back and forth a little bit, and he, I think, helped me crystallize why I thought it was important and make it a little bit better than, was still going in the direction that, that he was questioning originally, until he basically forced me to kind of justify it. And I think that's a really good thing, because if I don't feel the need to justify it, then I'll just change it. But if it's something that's important, I think, to the story as a whole, or even future stories, then I do need to justify it. And that's kind of the good job that he does, I think.
Yeah. There are times where what's in your head isn't on the page and you don't realize it. And that's what a good editor does for you. I've had a thing where I wrote something and both I got things back from my artist Ludovic and my editor Cassie saying, hey, I see what you were trying to do here, and it was not right for this reason. And I read them both, and I was like, oh, you're both totally right. Scrap all 8 pages, and I'm going to go back into this and do it with what you both. It's easy when 2 people tell you independent of each other, but it was like, oh great, like, oh, this is why I've got to listen. And there are times where people will say, I don't understand this, and I'm like, well, it's because you're an idiot.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think it's just important to listen to your collaborators, and also be a proponent for your own vision in a way that we're all working to make the best book possible.
Yep.
That we've agreed to make at the outset. It's a push pull. Nobody's going to be perfect. Nobody's going to be, except Alan. I mean, Alan sounds pretty great.
Yeah.
But we're finding it and stuff. But it's that collaborative process. Even if you're like butting heads, is a lot of fun, because usually, what's that? Like two plates coming together make a mountain. It's like, and that mountain's beautiful. But what happens when they hit kind of isn't, so.
Yeah. Well, Alan mentioned, something when he was talking about this, the process itself, right? I'll and this is the way I work, which is really weird, I know. I have always written in Microsoft Word. So I will write the script in Microsoft Word. I will then upload it, and we'll make it a Google Doc at that point, so that editing is seamless and easy. And then we'll go through the process, and we then will create a version of the script for the letter, for Brant to letter, that just has the letter, just the stuff that he needs to letter, not just the panel number, and this is what goes in that panel. He doesn't need the descriptions, because he doesn't have to deal with that.
Do you do that before or after the art is finished?
I usually do it after the art is finished, I think, because then I can also make some changes as I'm looking at the art. But once he letters it at that point, then we all do another pass on it, because we want to make sure that, one, I mean, and this is something that I think maybe a lot of, first time creators probably struggle with, is that you can't fill up the page with the words. You got to leave a little bit of room for the art. Okay. Just a
let it
little,
breathe.
let it
Gotta
breathe.
let
it breathe.
Yeah.
So, counting your words, I think I've mentioned this a lot of times, that, Alan Moore interview where he's talking about counting his words, and he gives, actual numbers, and, breaks it down so you can divide the panels up, and, this many panels, this many words per, speech bubble, and all those things. But the great thing about Brant is that, as a designer, he's going to put things around, where he thinks they need to go. But if he's seen the script from the beginning, which is, what you say, involving the entire team, he's already got an idea because he's seen the script that Pablo's got, or that Alice got, and he knows what it's, he's been there every step of the way. So he kind of knows what we're going for. And he's caught us a few times where, well, hey, this doesn't, this didn't make it, it made it by me, it made it by James, it made it by everybody. And he's like, well, we got to fix this here. And so having the whole team working together like that is just great. I mean, when you're all pulling in the same direction, you can really get some things done.
Yeah.
So there was a question somewhere buried in there. Do you guys do a letterer script? I think is where I was going with that. I don't know.
No. So what we do, it's the script that we write and finish. We just send it over, and it's the same script that everybody gets.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Even I get it for even with the Kickstarter and stuff. They send all that stuff to me beforehand so that I know what I'm selling. Right. I have to know the storyline and all that good stuff. And that is one of the big key things that I think, if you're going to, obviously salesman tactic, right? You got to know the product inside and out, upside down and backwards, right? In order to sell the thing, and then you got to learn how to fix it too, right? So that's kind of what I do. I kind of just figure out how to kind of sell that thing, and with their help, obviously everything is already gorgeous, so it's really easy to kind of just sell it, just kind of
and it's fun then too to actually get the questions from Joey, like, hey, can I talk about this? No, you can't.
That's a spoiler.
Yeah. It's just, and that's what makes it fun, right?
Yeah. Ludo and I for Tart 15 had decided together that we were going to keep one character's reemergence a secret. Very important to the issue, but wanted it to be a secret, and we decided that we were going to, not market that at all, but we'd let the demon be seen, and then the variant cover has that character on it. So I think we've changed our
tactics.
Our tactic in that. No spoilers for this one, but the cover that Ludo gave is so friggin' awesome that I'm like, it's fine. We're gonna let the artists work on the marketing.
Yeah, and that's what's so much fun about, as a writer working in comics, is that you get to work with all these great artists. And Kevin and I have talked about this a lot. It's when Ludo is in France. Alice, who did the last 2 issues of Crossover Division, well, the one that we're about to print, she did 3 and 4. She's also in France, so that they've sent the script, and maybe we talk to them during the day, we send them an email or something, and in the morning there's an email with art in it. It's like freaking Christmas, right? I get to open up this art packet. What is this? This is awesome.
Alan sent over some art today, and before it went to the letter. So, and that's what's the cool thing to get to see too, is you get to see everything from like inception, right? You can see kind of the notes, and you can see the script a little bit, and then you see it go to the inks, and then the colors, and then eventually the letters, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is so cool to kind of watch it all happen like right in front of you. It's a really cool process.
Yeah, and then you get to the printing, and the printing is actually, that was a question I had for you guys. Where are you having the books printed, or do you mind telling us where you have the books from?
Comics Wellspring.
Comics Wellspring? Cool.
Yeah, they have been awesome. Like, as timely as they can be, given paper shortages and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very
Awesome.
easy to work with. And not everything's perfect. We've had messed up orders before, but they have always been so good about getting us replacements or what we need immediately. And I feel like that's. Sometimes I think people kind of shy away from it because they don't want to talk about the bad, when it comes to printing and stuff like that. But I think that's the true merit of a company that you're dealing with how do they deal with their bad. And
and that's the biggest thing with customer service, right? You need to know how to turn a customer around. That's the first thing that I learned when in customer service is there you're gonna have to encounter the bad stuff. It's just when you're dealing with the business, that's what happens. So you need to learn how to handle that in a positive way that makes the consumer on the other end, who obviously put yourself in their position, but they need to walk away with a big smile or saying, wow, I'm gonna always come back here because of that mistake, right? And wild, right, to think that people are gonna come back because of a mistake, but it was because of the way you handled that mistake.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Tell you what, let's looks like Kevin had to take the dog somewhere. So that means I'm in charge. Sorry. Let's talk a little bit more about the campaign. How many days do you have left? Did it just launch?
7 days.
Yeah, we have 7 days left. This one was actually one of the shorter campaigns that we decided to run. More of like I guess more of a test, right? Because again, we're going to be running from the end of November or about the middle of November to the middle of December. So we really wanted just to kind of see what we could do with it. And we even kind of poke fun at ourselves, which I feel like everyone needs to do from time to time. Yeah, because in the body of the campaign, it says, because no one asked for it, here's the Soulless edition of Pocus Hocus. Yeah, like...
Why not?
Yeah, we're realistic, man. Like we didn't have anyone begging us, like we need a Soulless edition and we need it now. This this is just a thank you to the team, Brian, for putting in all the work that he has for us, and we just love our book.
Yeah.
Just to say it simply, we just love our book.
Yeah, and that's something that I was kind of going through with Crossover Division here recently, is that the first arc, the first 4 issues are done, right? So the next phase is a collection of some kind. And I'm gonna break out for just a second. You're right, Jay. So I was thinking of, how do I want to collect this? I can do a trade, I can do a hardcover, I can do an oversized hardcover. I don't think I can do all. If I do oversized hardcover, then I lose the benefits of, the split binding, so that there's all these, there's a lot of thought that has to go into how you're going to do this, for future stuff. So, but for me, I talked to the rest of the team. I'm like, one, I think I really want to do a hardcover. How do you guys feel about that? And so, we kind of all lean to hardcover. And then I don't know about you guys, but I tend to think that Charlie Stickney's pretty clever, so I try to copy him at every chance I get. He did that really, really great oversized hardcover of White Ash, and I was like, that's what I want. I think that's what I want to try to do. And then, then that leads to, hey, I can do a trade paperback later. But we've had all the support to what Kickstarter, in my mind, lets you create these kind of really limited runs of an issue, right? They're limited, highly collectible, and you make them as well as you can, right? And I kind of just wanted to continue that with the collection. So, I love the idea of that Soulless edition, because you guys are kind of thinking along the same lines. Hey, let's do something really cool, and for the people that have been backing us all along. So
for the people.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's for the people. Yeah, and it's cool though, like because as people back, you can see who's backing it and everything like that, and it's just so cool to see all the return people.
Oh yeah.
And not only that, we've seen a ton of new people jumping on too. It's like it's very cool. Like each campaign, there's brand new people jumping on, and it's very, very cool.
I have a joke when I'm doing my thank you notes is like, hey, you're a returning backer. That's my favorite backer because it means you've read it, you've come back. And then the next person, hey, you're a first time backer. You're my favorite backer. Because it means you just found out about us and you might fall in love with us. And if you come back, you could be our favorite backer. Returning backer.
Oh, man.
No, it's great. All right. Well, gentlemen, it's getting a little bit late. I had to put my dog away. Yeah. I don't know if you guys could hear him. I could hear him snoring. So I was like, I'm going to put him to bed. And now it's the time where if you've listened late, it goes off the rails. Will and I are going to talk about a very few campaigns that are still running. Real quick, I do want to bring up faith in each other. Jack Holder was going to be on tonight, but couldn't make it. I do want to talk about the campaign because Jack's a great person and a good writer. Faith in Each Other is a Christian YA fantasy comic. Esther is fighting a hidden war of faith. Her father is trying to not get fired. Can the two find a way to believe in each other? So it's a young adult comic. I wanted to make sure and talk about it for a second because I think I don't write many young adult type things, but if we need kids comics and we need young adult comics because selfishly, that's how we get people addicted. I need people to give kids methamphetamine so that later on I can sell them heroin. Okay.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm always into new books that are slightly different, and that Jack is a great person. I wanted to make sure that we brought it up because he just couldn't quite make it on tonight. That was our special guest, Alan.
Okay, he was the one. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd have been
it would have been good. It would have been
that would have been great
right?
alongside the grandma chainsaw pitch, right?
Hey, Jack's cool. Jack's cool. Jack can party. Jack can party. Just because he's writing one of his things that doesn't mean he can't have a good time. But I wanted to make sure and talk about that. And I don't know because Will and I have talked Christmas night and New Year's night are close to Fridays. We're not going to come out. We're not going to do a show. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get Pat Shund on. But he is a friend of the show, and he does have Smoke Weed, See the Future, Volume 2. You can get Volume 1 if you missed it. So it's definitely worth checking out because Pat always writes.
I don't know if I want to read it. I just want to see the future. So how can I?
I suggest if it's legal in your territory, smoke.
It is.
Tell me if you can see the future, Joey.
No. Here in Florida, you have to have a medical card, so I'm not gonna. Again, law.
Actually, here's what we're doing.
It's totally legal.
We're going to try to take Pat Shand's book literally. Okay, Joey, we're currently at 1869 with 45 backers and 6 days to go.
Okay,
we end next Friday at 10 o'clock. Where will we end, Joey? Tell me the future.
We will end. Okay, hold on. I gotta
wait a minute.
I gotta get my supplies out of the
we gotta do the first part of of the title, right?
I gotta get my party.
Joey just walks off screen. We just see a huge cloud of smoke.
Sorry. Let me get. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Eddie's back.
Okay. Let's see. I think we'll be about $2,000. Let's see. $2,000. $2,000. I'm calling it right now. $2,000.
Okay.
I just saw the future. 55, 60 backers. That's what Jay Burns says. He's calling it.
You are silenced, Kevin. I can't hear you.
Oh, thank you. So I'm gonna go not Wheel of Fortune. Price is Right here. So you said 2,000, right? 2342.
Okay.
Will,
I got to get in on this. Hang on a second. Let me take a look.
are you gonna do 2001?
You gotta.
It's a good bid, but
Oh, don't be that guy. Don't you dare.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
You know how much everyone probably hates that contestant? Like, they finally get called up after all this time of watching Price is
I'm
Right
so
on
sorry that he
television.
played the game better.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna say, I think it's gonna hit 25.
Oh, okay. All right. I like that one.
Okay,
25.
so we've got.
All right.
I hope Will is right. That would be great.
All right.
And he could be with 6 days left. It could easily do another 700 easily. So, all right. So let's talk about the campaigns that are still running that we've talked about. And it's not a ton. Things as Alan talked about, November, December, things start to slow down a little bit. So, what do we got here?
We've got We Promised Utopia, 2nd season, which they were on last week.
Yeah, We Promised Utopia has 3 different timelines. It's really cool because they have scientists on the book who are part of the writing team who are talking about exactly how we could stop the climate crisis and also how we humans would probably screw it up. So it's a really cool psychological look at climate change, the things that we have to tackle, and if we do tackle them, how humans would probably mess it up again. So very cool existential type of a book.
Pioneers, Blood and Stars, and I got this one, man.
Go for it.
Vampires in space.
That was so great. He came. We feel for every English creator. We actually don't even reach out to people in Europe, but we kind of talked to him. We invited him, not knowing where he was. He said yes. Poor guy. He had to wake up at 4 a.m. his time to be on the show. So if Vampires in Space doesn't do it for you, first of all, what's wrong with you? But second of all, do it for the guy waking up at 4 a.m. to talk about his comic, because that is passion. That is commitment.
Well, and
I might stay up till 4 a.m. to do it. I'm not waking up at 4.
And he wrote and drew it himself. I mean, and the art is gorgeous. It's a really good looking book.
What's the book about? No, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I can do it again. Sorry.
It's kind of just a fun comedy about, a space adventure. He as he said, it's not going to change the world. It's just kind of a fun comic book is what he's trying to make.
Awesome.
So a nice little page turner and a goofy book.
Hang on, we have a comment, and I demand that you take that back. You have to take that comment back. I don't think we're gentlemen.
Are we going to show it, Will? I'm kind of... Okay, there you go.
How dare you? This is supposed to be a family-friendly show, and you bring this on here.
So we don't know if we're going to have time to get Pat Shand on for a long interview, but we did get him into the chat. So
that's right.
We smoked weed. We saw the future, and the future was Pat Shand in the chat. So we are super happy to have you with us, whether it be just a comment or coming on. But if you can come on, next week is it. So it will be my birthday show, December 16th. Will and I are going to come on, and if we have creators, great. And if not, I'm just going to I don't know. Oh, by the way, do you know what my birthday gift is going to be?
A bag of weed, because Shan's going to come on.
If I was in New York, maybe. But again, laws in Florida are with DeSantis likes you, and I don't think he would if he knew who I was. We're getting another dog.
Really? Congrats.
So there's a puppy. We won't buy a puppy, and our dog is super afraid of other dogs. He was injured before we got him. My dog has 3 legs because of an incident, and it was with other dogs. So he's crazy afraid of other dogs. So we were worried we'd never be able to have 2 dogs. And the reason I want 2 dogs is because dogs die.
I get that.
And if you have 2 dogs and you have
Yeah.
one dog die, it's really sad. And then you eventually get another dog and you have 2 dogs and you don't have a dogless house.
Mhm.
But if you have one dog and your dog passes away, I can't get a dog yet. I need time. I can't we had Monty and Cindy Lou for 8 years, and Monty passed away, and Cindy Lou was she was my special case. So we couldn't adopt another dog with her in the house, or else it was going to make whatever time we had with her bad. And so I was like, my wife kept saying, "Can we get another dog?" And I was like, "I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready." But if you have 2 dogs and one passes away, you need to get another dog for the dog.
Other one. Ah,
Right.
perfect.
Yeah.
Genius. Well, I like that loophole system you got.
It's a loophole.
Your house.
But Harpo hates other dogs, and I was like, we can't get another adult dog because he's afraid of dogs, and his fear is biting. He gets angry and vicious. So I think with a puppy, he'll be dominant. The puppy will be like, "I love you so much," and it'll work. But we don't want to buy a dog and like put money into the puppy mill system.
Mhm.
Well, someone rescued 3 puppy poodles in Orlando, and one of them around January is coming here. So
Awesome.
so my birthday present, we're getting so far we think her name is Lady. We didn't pick it, but it's fine. So hopefully in January you guys will get to meet my puppy.
Okay. Well, I'll be here because Pocus 5's launching at the end of January. So there should be a puppy on the stream whenever I come back on.
I hope that's the case, although she might be in the cage,
No,
cage
she will
so.
not be. I'm so sorry.
You know what? I'll bring her out for you. So
And Alan can be our special guest on that show.
There
How
you
about
go.
that?
So Johnny
I'll take
says that's both a really sweet and really poignant reason to get a birthday puppy. It's just because my dog doesn't love me and only loves my wife. It's not poignant. It's just because my dog only loves my wife. And I want a dog. No, I think, did we get everybody? Because I got
We did. That's all I've got in there. Yep.
Awesome. Well, Alan, Joey, absolute pleasure having you. I cannot wait to talk about Pocus Hocus 5 in January, show you Lady if I actually have her. It's sort of a done deal because the doggy rescuer is an old family friend. But
Awesome.
Until the dog's in the house, it's not in the house. But
and then
I told my wife.
And then hopefully sometime in February or March, hopefully we can talk about this book here, because we're going to be doing that one. Something very special with that one. We're going to have an announcement very soon.
Okay. I can't see it, but is it the horse?
It's this here.
Name it. Oh,
Badass Girl Saves the World.
All right, so, I'm in. I'm
that one's
cool. I like badass girls on my comics, so I'm in. All right. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat. Pat, Shawnee, Jay, I really appreciate you guys adding to the show. Honestly, you make it better for being here. So thank you so much. Alan and Joey, always great. Will, I love you, buddy. And I will talk to you next week. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Night.